Hi everyone, so today will be probably the last episode of the color therapy, just because I think I did it for 7 weeks, so that's almost 2 months, and I'm kind of ready to end that series and then just not have a commitment to it every single Monday, but just explore. Okay, so today what I want to do, besides that, there will be loads of similar things anyway. I love painting flowers and color and play with color and all that good stuff. So for today I thought we'll really kind of try to do something quite beautiful, which is drawing this Sweet Pea. Now I have taken a photocopy from this book, and let's see, so this is page 298. The book is called Flower Color Guide. I'll link below the review that I did for this book, and you can have a look inside a little bit, and there is a link below as well if you're interested to check out this book. So let's find this page now. Okay, so here I have taken a photocopy because this book is a little bit hard to work with. It's quite a small format, so therefore the pages tend to kind of close even if you press the book down. So it's great for reading or flipping through and looking at it. There is not much to read here, obviously, but apart from the names of the flowers. So anyways, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at this composition, and we're going to work with greens and we're going to work with pinks, and I'm going to try to focus on how to paint with color positivity in mind. So perhaps more freedom, perhaps more brightness, and just kind of going with it. So I hope you will join me in. I'm having my coffee, Costa coffee here. Okay, so I hope you'll join me in, and let's celebrate the beauty of Sweet Pea. Now, I will probably speed up this video or not, I'm not sure, depending how long it will take, but I will definitely will do a voiceover, because I find that it's just easier for me to work with a voiceover. So I'm just going to move the flower over here so it's easier for you to see and easier for me to work. Right, so let's start. Doing this voiceover very late at night, and it is pouring down with rain outside, and it's very stormy, and yeah, it's been a very long day today, and I'm actually looking forward to see this tutorial as you're watching it right now as well. And basically I started by illustrating certain fragments of the Sweet Pea. So I looked at the composition on the photograph, however I made my own because I just wanted to use it as a reference point rather than doing a botanical copy of the flower, so to speak. And I am using a water-soluble graphite here because I wanted initially to have that look of the graphite when it is used in conjunction with water, to have that effect blending in with the watercolors. However, later on I realized that it didn't really happen, maybe because of the paper, maybe it has something to do with that. I'm working in my Khadi Papers journal. This is a larger size for me than usual. Usually I work in quite small journals, and this is a good size. I'm enjoying it. It's a landscape orientation, and I will link, as always, everything down below that I can find for you. And yeah, so the paper here is 100% recycled, and it is some pages are more textured, others are more flat, so it's, you know, it has that real kind of recycled paper feel to it. So now I'm grabbing my Raven brush by Jackson's. This is one of my favorite brushes, and it's just so gorgeous. It's like a replica of a mop brush, which is usually made out of squirrel bristles. This one is a synthetic version of that, so if you are into synthetic brushes, then you would really enjoy it. It's a good substitute for the real thing, and it's great for exactly this style, which is very much loose and watery, and you know, it carries a lot of moisture in the brush because of the bristles being so soft, and you can create this lovely loose watercolor flowers with it very, very easily. And so I'm just going into a very bright pink because I want to create a very bright and luminous painting in this case, and I want to go for bright pink and bright green, which is very typical of Sweet Pea.
Close enough to burn, but I never learn. Try to make it last. Could it be different? Could we be different? 'Cause the night's so young, 'cause the night's so young, so young, young, young. I will try. I know this heart has been broken so many times, and I will try.
So at this point I decided to glaze over with the green watercolor just to bring out the vibrancy, because I was applying the green watercolor and touching it onto the pink, which means it sort of moved into the pink, and the intensity of the green pigment has therefore gone down. So basically here I'm showing the brush. I'm using the silver black velvet round 4. Everything will be linked below as always. And yes, so I decided to, for that reason, to glaze over with a slightly darker mix of green to bring out those lovely juicy green elements of the Sweet Pea. And I'm playing here with the intensity and darkness and depth of the green, because you can see it kind of can look a little bit flat, and so I will be layering it quite a few times to bring it out to that intensity to match the beautiful pink flowers.
Stare into the sun, moments holding on, and we hold our breath. Could it be different? Could we be different? 'Cause the light's so young, 'cause the light's so young. And could it be different? What are we missing? 'Cause the light's so young, 'cause the light's so young, so young, young, young. I will try. I know this heart has been broken so many times, and I will try until I find.
This silver black velvet brush is really good for detail work. As you can see here, I went even onto a finer brush for those curly little bits, So I'm using 3 different brushes here because I wanted to have a loose illustration or painting of the pea flowers, but then I also had to work with the stalks, which are rather fine, and then even finer with these curly bits here. And for that I'm using the spotter brush, which is really good for fine detailing like this, and I believe it was a number 2 and it's by Jackson's. Again, it will be linked below. So mixing up a bit of color here and darkening it up with more sub green, because the curly bits, I'm sure there is a name for them, but I can't quite think of it right now, maybe because it's just so late, but they look a lot nicer when they're darker, they stand out better. So here I'm going back to the 2 brushes and I'm working with them at the same time. So this is the round 4 and the Raven mop brush, and I am essentially glazing here to bring out the shadowing and the highlights of the petals. As you can see, I'm using the reference photograph to look at the darkest and lightest values of the colors, and that way creating more dimension and bringing out sort of the petals, how they are placed in the flowers. So one petal goes behind the other and then the third one goes behind the second, and it sort of creates like a little fan of petals, and that is what I try to do. At this point I'm erasing all of the unnecessary pencil marks because it just makes it look a little bit messy in this particular style. There is time and place to leave the pencil marks on, but not for this one, because especially for those curly bits, as we call them in this video, those pencil marks were actually detracting from the beautiful fine lines. So at this point I decided to get my beloved platinum carboning fountain pen, which is super fine, and then just outline certain parts of the stalk, so not the entire everything, just on one side, and then on the petals I decided to do a scribbly kind of double, in some cases triple line, and that really created that sort of very scratchy and very loose look about it, with just slight definition of bringing in this ink lining. And then particularly around the curly bits is when the fountain pen really highlighted them beautifully, because you can still see the beautiful green watercolor beneath the black ink, but the black ink just makes it just look very nice and striking, really. Alright, so this is now finished, and in the end I decided to go in with the Carbon Platinum fountain pen just to kind of outline certain elements and bring the finer detail to it. Somewhere I would make more scratchy marks with the pen, and in other situations like these curly little bits here, I went and tried to follow the line that was already there, just exaggerating the ends and curling them, which you can really get a nice pointy end with a really fine point pen like this. And that's it. And I found that adding a bit of ink in the end in a very scratchy manner rather than just a perfect outline kind of brought everything together and makes it look more finished to me. And that is it for today. I'm just going to give you a little close-up right here. So I hope you really enjoyed this little Sweet Pea illustration. And here it is. So I hope you have found it relaxing and just sort of freeing to go in with colors, and you could see the different brushes I was using to create a soft look and then somewhere to deepen things. And that was it. It was rather quick to do. I did a little bit of glazing to bring out the greens as well so that they wouldn't look too dull or too flat. So that is it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for enjoying this series, and I will see you in other videos.